Cruising is often marketed as the ultimate escape, a seamless blend of luxury, relaxation, and exploration. In December 2010, thousands of passengers boarded Royal Caribbean's Brilliance of the Seas, expecting just that, a trip of a lifetime through the cradle of civilization. The ship was operating a 12-night Mediterranean cruise, departing from Barcelona, Spain. The planned itinerary included several historic ports. First, Barcelona, Spain for departure. Then, Palermo, Sicily in Italy. Next, Athens and the port of Piraeus, Greece. Then Rhodes, Greece. After that, Alexandria, Egypt was planned. Then Valletta, Malta, and finally, a return to Barcelona, Spain. For many passengers, the highlight of the voyage was expected to be Alexandria, a gateway to ancient Egypt and the pyramids. Few could have imagined that the approach to this port would become the most dangerous moment of the entire journey. Instead, the voyage descended into a maritime nightmare. Between December 12th and 14th, the ship encountered a Bombogenesis, a rapidly intensifying cyclonic storm that battered the vessel with hurricane-force winds and monstrous waves. What transpired was not merely a rough day at sea, but a terrifying ordeal of survival that resulted in widespread injuries, a tragic death, and a fundamental questioning of maritime safety protocols. The Brilliance of the Seas, a Radiance-class ship, is designed for scenic sailing. With acres of glass elevators and floor-to-ceiling windows, she's built to connect passengers with the ocean. Departing from Barcelona, Spain, the mood was festive. The ship was decorated for the holidays, with a massive Christmas tree in the centrum, the central atrium, and passengers enjoying the anticipation of visiting the Great Pyramids. The ship made its scheduled calls at Palermo, Sicily, and Rhodes, Greece. As the vessel turned southeast toward Egypt, the atmosphere began to shift. Winter in the Mediterranean can be unpredictable, but few on board were prepared for the meteorological beast waiting for them in the Levantine Sea. As the Brilliance approached the Egyptian coast, weather forecasts indicated a severe low-pressure system forming. Despite the ominous charts, the decision was made to proceed toward Alexandria. This decision would later become the focal point of intense scrutiny and legal action. On the night of Sunday, December 12th, the wind speed escalated dramatically, screaming across the decks at over 80 miles per hour, approximately 130 kilometers per hour. Intensities typically associated with a Category 1 hurricane. The sea state transformed from choppy to violent, with swells reaching heights of 30 to 50 feet, 9 to 15 meters. Unlike an ocean liner, like the Queen Mary II, which is built to slice through rough Atlantic waves, modern cruise ships are top-heavy with high centers of gravity. As the waves broadsided the Brilliance, the ship didn't just bob, it rolled. The situation went critical in the early hours of the morning. The ship began to tilt heavily to the port side, and then violently snap back. Inclinometers on the bridge reportedly registered rolls exceeding 15 to 20 degrees. While the ship was theoretically capable of withstanding this, the experience inside was catastrophic. The violent rolling of the ship caused heavy furniture to shift dangerously. Inside the cabins, beds slid across the floors and hit the walls. Drawers opened, spilling their contents. At the same time, power failures in various sections left passengers in the dark as they were thrown from their beds by the ship's sudden movements. In the central atrium, the large Christmas tree toppled over, scattering ornaments across the deck. Nearby, in the ship's shops, glass bottles fell from the shelves and shattered on the tiled floors. This created a dangerous mix of broken glass and spilled liquid. In the schooner bar, a grand piano broke loose from its moorings, sliding across the room and damaging nearby furniture. In the casino, the ship's listing caused heavy gaming tables to shift, and several slot machines tipped over. Footage recorded by passengers confirmed the extent of the chaos. In the main atrium, furniture was seen sliding uncontrollably across the floor. Both crew members and guests struggled to keep their balance. The environment was filled with the loud sounds of breaking glass and falling objects. For hours, the captain ordered a strict lockdown, urging passengers to remain in their cabins for safety. Yet, for those trapped in the ship's large public halls, there was nothing to hold on to as the vessel rolled violently. Even the cabins offered little protection. The sheer force of the ship's listing hurled people across their rooms and against the walls. In an instant, the chaos of the storm turned a luxury holiday into a terrifying battle for survival. Initial reports from Royal Caribbean cited minor injuries to about 30 guests. However, the reality was far grimmer. As the full picture emerged, it was confirmed that 105 passengers required medical treatment. The ship's medical center was quickly overwhelmed. Passengers suffered broken bones, deep lacerations from flying glass, severe bruising and concussions. Many passengers believed the ship was going to capsize. Families gathered in hallways wearing life jackets, sobbing and praying, convinced they were living through a modern-day Titanic. While most injuries were physical, one resulted in a tragic loss of life. Barbara Davey, a 56-year-old passenger from Scotland, was thrown about her cabin during the height of the storm. She struck her head violently. Though she initially sought treatment for sickness and bruising, her condition deteriorated after the cruise. She lapsed into a coma 3 days after returning home and passed away in January 2011. Her husband later launched a lawsuit against Royal Caribbean, claiming her death was a direct result of the trauma sustained during the storm. This tragedy cast a long shadow over the incident, proving that the adventure had fatal consequences. By the time the sun rose, the Brilliance of the seas was battered. The port of Alexandria was closed due to the weather. No ship could safely dock. The captain made the decision to bypass Egypt entirely. The ship changed course, heading west toward Valletta, Malta. The journey was slow and tense. Inside, the corridors were quiet, as exhausted passengers waited for the ship to reach port. When the vessel finally entered the Grand Harbor on December 14th, the danger had passed. The ship docked safely, allowing passengers to disembark. For the passengers, arriving in Malta brought a sense of immense relief. While the ship remained in port, a significant number of guests decided to end their vacation immediately. They arranged flights home directly from Malta, refusing to sail the final leg of the journey back to Spain. The ship eventually returned to Barcelona on December 17th, but the fallout continued. Royal Caribbean acknowledged the severity of the incident. In response, they offered a full refund of the cruise fare to every passenger on board, along with credits for future voyages. Despite this compensation, many passengers remained angry, believing the cruise line had taken unnecessary risks with their safety. The central controversy focused on the decision to sail into the storm. Meteorological data indicated that a severe low-pressure system was visible on weather charts in advance. Critics and maritime lawyers argued that the captain should have altered the course to avoid the system, even if it meant missing the planned stop in Alexandria. Royal Caribbean defended the decision, stating that the storm intensified much faster than forecasted, a phenomenon known as explosive cyclogenesis, and that the captain acted within his authority to manage the vessel. The 2010 incident remains a significant case study for the cruise industry. It demonstrated that despite advanced radar and stabilizers, modern ships are not immune to severe weather conditions. For the passengers on board, the voyage served as a harsh reminder of the ocean's power. What began as a holiday ended as a serious lesson in maritime safety and survival.